Hey guys, Howard here with Black Country Woman from Led Zeppelin from the Physical Graffiti album. And for those of you who watch the channel on a regular basis, you know I like to get to the tune as quickly as possible. But I've got to do a little shout out today to a former student of mine named Tony. Tony passed away recently. He was with me for several years, and he gifted me this guitar upon his passing. And it is a beautiful Gibson. I don't know if you can see that. Gibson, there it is. Gibson JS200, and it's a gorgeous guitar. And so I just wanted to say, Tony, rest in peace, my friend. And we're doing Black Country Woman today on your guitar. We are in an open G tuning, but unlike Keith Richards, Jimmy actually leaves the 6th string on the guitar. Even though he doesn't use it for this particular tune, once in a while it's just cool to have it on there, kind of a bluesy thing. So anyway, let's do all 6 strings. I will start with the 6th string. 3 strings are tuned differently, and 3 strings stay the same. So it's pretty easy to get into. The 6th string is tuned down 1 full step to D. The A string is tuned down 1 full step to G. And then the next 3 strings, the D, the G, and the B, all stay in standard tuning. And then the first E string goes down a whole step to D as well. And so we have. Okay? So let's just get into it. I'll take you through each of the sections. You know, it's pretty repetitive, so you can kind of just cruise along with the recording if you want to. But there is a couple of nuances here that I want to mention that sometimes get missed. Before Jimmy sort of gets full throttle into the riff, he actually plays it twice like this. So he actually just plays that twice before he gets into. So let's talk about that, okay? What I'm doing, I'm not using tab in this lesson, by the way. Most of you are probably familiar with the fact that I always use on-screen tab, but this is just easier explained. So I'm barring across the first 2 strings at the 3rd fret, then the 2nd fret, then open. Okay, pretty easy. And you want to start that with an upstroke because it starts on the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, so you want to get into that for sure. And then once you're into that, it's really just alternate stroking, right? But getting the accents in there. So we start with the upstroke, 3, 2, open. And then we fret the first string at the 3rd fret. Now you can hear I'm accenting that because it sounds basically like he's playing, right? But he is still strumming, so it's... So we have... So what I did on the second one was 3, 2, open, 2, 3, back to 3. So on that second one we have. So we put all of that together and we have. And then reach up with your first finger, give the A string a slight bend at the 3rd fret. And it doesn't matter if you hit more than 1 string, it actually sounds good, right? So putting the whole riff together, we have. so you play that, once Robert Plant starts singing, you play that riff 4 times. And on the recording, you'll hear him grab that chord, just barring across all 5 strings at the 3rd fret as he makes his way up to the 4 chord. So on that last one, it actually sounds like this. I'll do it nice and slow. And he brings it up to the 5th fret, okay? Now once you're in the 5th fret, you're just going to play basically the same riff from there. And that can be a little bit tricky because it's a big stretch, right? And you can see in the photograph that I put at the beginning of the video, you can see Jimmy right in this position right here in that particular photograph. But now we're going to do it like this. We're barring across the same first 2 strings, and we're using the 8th fret and the 7th fret. So we're going 8, 7, and then of course it would be 5 because you're already barred. Then come back with your pinky to the 8th fret. So now we have... So you can see on the second one, it emulates what he did down here. 8, 7, 5, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. So it's essentially the same riff, right? You play it twice, but after the second go around, you come off of the pinky and dive for that 3rd fret again. That's kind of his transitional fret, if you will, as he makes his way to the 4 chord and also as he makes his way to the 5. Which I'll explain in a second. So on that second one, we go. It's interesting because they play the 4 chord twice before they go to the 5, all right? So you'll do that whole section essentially 2 times. All right, then finally, when you come off of the 4 chord the second time around, we go to the 5 chord and we use that 3rd fret as the transitional fret again, okay? And we play the first half of the riff right there, and then we move it back to the 4 chord at the 5th fret and play the second half of the riff. And once again, you can see that I dove off of that 3rd fret right back to the main riff. Right? So from that 5 chord to the 4 chord and back to the main riff. And it just becomes one big giant loop, right? And that is the whole tune. But at the end of the song, Jimmy plays that cool little old school blues ending, right? So you come off of the 5 chord to the 4 chord, and then he ends it, okay? So we play. Very cool, right? So all we're doing there is I'm engaging with all 5 strings from the A string on down, and it's the same bar, just at the 3rd fret on the first 2 strings. You can use your fingers if you want to. And then I kind of bring in just the first 4 strings, or maybe 3, whatever. So it's open, 2, open, 3, but engaging with those other strings. What's the matter with you, mama, right? All right, there you go with Black Country Woman from Led Zeppelin. I hope you enjoyed it. And all the best to everyone, and I'm sure you'll be seeing this beautiful guitar again soon. Thanks.